to TC3 Theater Society's presentation of Arsenic and Old Lace. I'm the director, Katie. I want to welcome you all first to the TC3 Forum. I think it's going to be a good show, and I'm excited for you all to see it. For those of you unfamiliar with Arsenic and Old Lace, we start 1939, the Brewster household, Brooklyn, New York, where nothing is as it seems. Enjoy the show.
Yes, indeed. My sister Martha and I were talking all week about your sermon last Sunday. It really is wonderful, Dr. Harper. In just 2 short years, you've managed to take on the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
Living next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. And the spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliest, and your sermons are not so much sermons as they are friendly talks.
I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bowling!
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh, no, thank you. I always eat too many of your lovely biscuits just to taste that jam.
But you haven't even tried the quince.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
Oh, no, you keep it here so I can be sure of having your lovely biscuits today.
I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. What with these war troubles? It may not seem very charitable of me, but I'm beginning to think this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
What you got the other way?
Gun?
Teddy.
To the west. There's your enemy. There's your danger.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Teddy.
No more talk about Europe, Aunt Abby, and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war. Won't you have another cup of tea, dear?
Oh, no thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must admit, Miss Abby, that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The gentle virtues of another day, they're all here in this house. The virtues that went out with candlelight and good manners and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it, except for the electricity, and we use that as little as possible. It was Moira who persuaded us to put it in.
Your niece Moira seems only to live by electric light.
The poor girl has to work so late. I understand she's taking Elaine to the theater with her again tonight. Teddy, your sister Moira will be by a little later.
Ah, delighted.
We're so glad it's Elaine Moira takes to the theater with her.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
I hope you don't disapprove of Moira, Dr. Harper.
Well,
we'd feel so guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I. After all, it was here in our house that your daughter met Moira.
I understand, Miss Abby, and so I'll say immediately that I believe Moira herself to be quite a worthy woman. But I have watched the growing intimacy between her and my daughter with growing trepidation for one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean her stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach?
Her dyspepsia. She's bothered with it so, poor girl.
No, I'm speaking of your niece's unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? No, Moira writes for a New York newspaper.
I understand, Miss Abby, but a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I don't doubt that some men do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Moira. You need have no fear of that. Moira hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes. She writes awful things about the theater, but you can't blame her, poor dear. She was so happy writing for real estate, which she really knew something about, and then they just made her take this awful night position.
My.
But, as she says, the theater can't last much longer, and in the meantime, it's a living. Yes, I think if we give the theater another year or two... Well, are you enjoying the tea?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
It's a special blend we just got in from our relatives in England.
Oh, that's nice.
Teddy, won't you come back to the table?
Are you enjoying your biscuits, Aunt Abby?
Oh, yes.
I find them very delicious. I don't know. I've always loved your biscuits, Aunt Abby.
Oh, thank you, Teddy.
So, Dr. Harper, how is your daughter Elaine?
She's good. But she's going with Moira to the theater tonight.
Who could that be? No, thank you, Teddy. I'll go. Oh, come in, Mr. Klein. How are you, Mr. Brophy?
Doing very well. Hello, Miss Brewster.
Dr. Harper.
We're here to bring you the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh,
That's splendid work you gentlemen do, fixing up discarded toys to give poor children a happy Christmas.
Well, it gives us something to do while we have to sit around the station. You get tired of playing cards. And then the next thing you know, you start cleaning your gun, and you shot your foot off.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box from Aunt Martha's room. How is Mrs. Brophy doing? Mrs. Brophy has been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Send
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's getting better, but she's still a little.
I'll get you some beef broth to take to her.
No.
George!
You mustn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble. We just made it this morning. Martha's taking some down to poor Mr. Benitsky. I won't be a minute. Sit and be comfortable, all of you.
She really goes to mean too much trouble for us.
Listen, try to stop her sister from doing something nice. For nothing, they don't carry a boat.
When I received my call, then my wife was ill. And when she died for a month before, well, if I know anything about absolute generosity and pure kindness, it's because of the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised us you wouldn't do that anymore.
I have to call my cabinet for the release of those supplies.
We used to do that all the time, up in the middle of the night, raise Cain with the neighbors, and they're a little afraid of him.
Always quite harmless.
Yeah, suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, there's worse people you think he was.
Shame. Nice family like this, actually cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, he was some sort of genius, wasn't he? And their father, well, Teddy's grandfather, it seems to me he was a little crazy too.
Crazy like a fox. That guy, he made millions.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He was a quack of some kind. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used to test his products out on people. This place used to be kind of a clinic.
Yeah, I heard he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
Yeah, the department never really bothered about it, though. I mean, he was pretty useful on autopsies, especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, left his daughters fixed for life, thank God for that.
Not that they ever spent a penny of it on themselves.
Oh, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
Oh, you don't know intended. I was working with the Missing Persons Bureau. I was trying to chase an old man that we never did find. Did you know that there's a renting agency that's actually got this house down on its list for furnished rooms? Now, they don't rent rooms. You can bet that anyone who comes here leaves with a good meal and a few dollars from their kick.
That's just their way of digging up some people to do some good to.
Well, isn't this nice?
Oh, hello, Miss Brewster.
Hello, Mr. Brophy. Mr. Klein, Dr. Harper.
How are you, Miss Brewster?
Very well.
Now, we're here to pick up the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes, Teddy's Army Navy, they're all packed. They wear out.
Yeah, he's upstairs getting them for us.
Oh, yes, of course. How is Mrs. Brophy?
Yeah, she's recovering.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Oh, Aunt Abby is giving us some beef broth.
Beef broth. Oh, well, we made it just this morning. I just took some to a poor man who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, Martha, you're home. How is Mr. Benitsky?
Oh, not long, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. They're going to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
I'm afraid not. I suppose it's against the rules of the hospital.
Well, you wouldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Oh, here's the soup. Be sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am.
And here are the Christmas trees.
Oh. Oh, this is fine. Oh, the kids will be really happy with this. That old Mally boy's nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I've retired him.
But Teddy, you know.
That's the Oregon.
Teddy.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Teddy, please.
You're right, I've given my word to fighting Bob Evans.
Well, who cares if kid gets it? Bobby Evans, Izzy Cohen. Hey, we'll be running along then. Now, thank you very much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
I must be running along too.
Oh, Dr. Harper, before you go.
John! John, it's the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no, rather he get Teddy Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and you're happy, you'll see that he signs these.
What are these?
Oh, Dr. Harper's made all the arrangements for Teddy to go to Happydale after we pass on.
Why sign these now?
Well, it's better to have it all settled now. Perhaps the Lord should take you away before your time. Teddy wouldn't want to commit himself, and it would cause an unnecessary overstep. Mr. Witherspoon understands that they be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon?
He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Ah.
Dr. Harper's arranged for him to come by tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
Oh.
Well, I must be running along home, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Oh.
Give our love to Elaine. And Dr. Harper, please don't think poorly of Moira because she's a dramatic critic. And somebody has to do those things.
Isn't it late for tea?
Yes. Dinner's going to be late too.
Why?
Oh, Teddy, you're going down to Panama to dig another lock for the canal.
Bully, bully, bully. I will have to get me ready for the journey.
Abby, while I was out?
Oh, I couldn't wait. Dr. Harper was coming.
All by yourself?
Oh, I managed just fine.
I'll go downstairs and see.
Oh, no. There wasn't time, and I was all alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window seat. Oh.
who can I be?
Oh, it's Elaine. Come in, Elaine.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
Oh, he doesn't smell left. Didn't you meet her?
Oh no, I took a shortcut to the cemetery. Moira hasn't come yet.
No, dear, not yet.
Oh, she was supposed to meet me here. Do you mind if I wait?
No, sit.
Oh, no. But we really must speak to her about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, she was brought up to know better. When a woman is going to take a young lady out, she should first call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages anyone who doesn't embroider.
She's done this far too often. We're going to speak to her.
Please don't. After young Lincoln's idea of night work life, let's take me to a prayer meeting. It's wonderful going to the theater every night of my life.
Well, it's a relief for us, too, because if Moira has to see some of those plays she has to see, at least she's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, what you must think of us, not having the tea things put away by now. It's fine, dear. Thank you.
Now, don't take care of anything until Moira comes, and then I'll come and help you.
I really must run over and say goodnight to Father. He must have been surprised not to find me at home.
Well, it's a shame you missed me.
If Moira comes, you tell her I'll be right back.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Moira. Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, hello, Moira. Abby, Moira's home.
Where are you going somewhere? I was just running over to say goodnight to Father.
I didn't know that was being done, even in Brooklyn.
Moira,
Hello, Aunt Abby.
how are you, dear?
I'm fine, and you're looking well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Why, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We're seeing an awful lot of you. Well, come, sit.
Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen?
Huh?
You know, tea things?
Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home. Just
Make yourselves at home.
Well, can you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
What are you going to go for dinner tonight?
I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show.
But that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard about it, we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You really ought to be more fair to these plays.
These plays fair to me.
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical is an opening tonight.
No.
Darling, you'll have to learn the rules. With musical, there's always 4 changes in title, 3 postponements. They liked it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a musical.
He was such a lifeline.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we join the proletariat in the subway, and I listen to a lecture on my drama. After a musical, you take me home in a taxi, and you make a few passes.
Now wait a minute, darling. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Berman play, you told me I had an authentic beauty, and that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. Wasn't until after our first musical you told me I had nice legs.
And I have, too. For a minister's daughter, you should know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
I'll explain that to you sometime, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better run over and tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with the girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not speaking to be articulate, are you?
The only way I can keep my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No, I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
I can't wait that long. Where can you be married in a hurry? Say tonight.
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
I bet your father could make even the marriage services sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Oh, forgive me, darling, it's an occupational disease. I may give that play a good notice tonight.
Now, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
You better tell your father not to wait up tonight.
I might want to tell him to wait up.
I'll telephone Winchell and publish the banns.
Nevertheless,
All right, everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
darling, I'll talk it over with Father and I'll set the date.
I'll have to check to see what's in rehearsal. There'll be a lot of first nights in October.
Moira!
Hello, Mr. President.
Hello. Polly. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes. Isn't it wonderful?
Yes.
Well, goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye!
Well, where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama's the cellar. He's digging locks for the canal down there.
You're so wonderful with Teddy, and he's so fond of you.
Teddy always was my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
There's another brother, Jonathan.
Jonathan? I've never heard of him. Your aunts, they never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn very early by request. He was the type of boy that cut worms in two with his teeth.
Whatever happened to him?
Oh, I don't know. He wanted to be a surgeon like grandfather, but he didn't want to go to medical school, and his practice got him into trouble.
Oh, aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
We're skipping dinner. We don't have to start for another half an hour.
Oh, well, I'll just leave you two alone together again then.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I have to run over and say goodnight to Father. Before I go out, Baby likes to pray over me a little.
If the prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to leave you by distilled waters.
Maura, that's the first time I've heard you quote the Bible. I knew Elaine would be a good influence on you.
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling! Martha, come right in here! I've got the most wonderful news. Moira and Elaine are going to be married. We're so cool. We hoped it would happen just like this.
Oh, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Oh, happy? Just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Say, what is that?
What's wrong?
On top of the statue. Why, that's a Horanzanita carnita.
No, dear, that's Emma B. Stout ascending to heaven.
Oh, no, on Mrs. Stout's left ear. Well, that's a red-crested swallow. I've only ever seen one of those in my life.
Well, I don't know how you can be thinking about a bird at a time like this. One with Elaine and the engagement.
Mr. Rowe was very fond of that. Which reminds me, I left a large envelope around here last week. It was one of my chapters on Thoreau.
Well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
What are your plans? There must be something you can tell us about Elaine.
Oh, Elaine, she was very fond of them.
Fond of what?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Oh.
Well, when Elaine comes back, I think we should celebrate. Do we have a little of that Lady Baltimore cake left?
Oh, yes.
And I'll open a bottle of wine.
I think it happened in this room.
Where could I put that?
Well, with your fiancé sitting next to you tonight, I do hope you'll be watching something you can enjoy. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out. Oh, dear. When the curtains open, the first thing you'll see will be a dead body. Aunt Abby?
Yes, dear.
You were making arrangements for
a thing. Why, as long as we live, we won't be separated from Teddy.
Right away, I tell you, right away!
Mark, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
Darlings, I have some frightfully shocking news for you. We all have to keep our heads. You see, we've always sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Well, he is harmless.
No, he was harmless. That's why he has to go to Happy Camp tonight, now. Oh, darlings, I'm afraid to tell you. You'll have to find out sometime. But Teddy's, well, he's killed a man.
Nonsense, dear.
There's a body in the window seat.
Oh, yes, we know.
You know.
Oh, yes, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, Moira, forgive you ever saw the gentleman. Just don't worry. Forget. Well, we never dreamed you'd peep.
But what's he doing in there?
He died.
Aunt Tabby. Men don't just crawl into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
But how?
Moira, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
But how did the poison get in the wine?
Well, we put it in wine because when we put it in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put the gentleman in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you knew what you'd done. You put him in the window seat because you didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not at tea. That wouldn't be very nice.
Now, Moira, you know the whole thing.
Just forget about it.
And don't you tell Elaine. Oh, I stopped by Mrs. Schultz today, and she'd like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Well, we will have to do that tomorrow or the next day.
But this time we go where we want to. I'm not letting Junior drag me to another of those scary pictures.
I wish you could stay for dinner. Martha's trying out a new recipe.
I couldn't even think.
Well, I feel so much better. Oh, you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? Well, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
City desk? Hey, do you know who this is? Well, that's right. Say, when I left the office, did I tell you where I was going? Right. It would take me a half hour to get to Brooklyn. I must be here. Aunt Tabby! Aunt Martha, come in here! Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Do about what?
Oh, good heavens, I can't turn you into the police, but what am I going to do?
About?
There's a body in there!
Oh, yes, that's Mr. Hoskins. He's a Methodist.
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget about the whole thing.
But what are you going to do? You can't just leave him in there.
Oh, well, we don't intend to.
No, Teddy's down in Panama now, digging another lot for the canal.
And when he comes back, we'll hold the services.
You're going to bury him in the cellar.
Oh, yes, that's what we did with the others.
You can't bury Mr. Hoskins! Others?
Oh, why?
Like, when you say others, well, you mean more than one. What do you mean by others?
Well, of course. Why, this makes 11, doesn't it, Abby?
No, this makes 12.
Oh, well, you really shouldn't count the first
Oh, well, I was counting the first one, and I thought, right as Mr. Hoskins came in here, that this made just an even dozen.
All right, so that's 12. Come on. Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley, he was a Baptist.
Yes, but the reason I say he doesn't count is, well, he just died.
And Mark means without any help from us, that is. You see, it was right after we moved to New York. We couldn't let that lovely room go to waste. There were so many people who needed it.
And then Mr. Midgley came, and he was such a lovely man.
Oh, all his kith and kin dead, and it left him very sad and forlorn.
We felt so sorry for him.
And then when his heart attack came and he sat dead, well, that chair, he looked so peaceful. And Martha and I decided decided then and there that if we could help other lonely old men to the same peace, we would.
So he died right in that chair. How awful for you.
Oh no, it was rather like old times. You see, grandfather, he always used to have a cadaver or two around the house.
So, all this started because that man came in here and dropped dead?
Well, yes, but we knew we couldn't count on that happening again, so...
Well, you see, dear, for 1 gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoon of cyanide, half a teaspoon of arsenic, and just a pinch of strychnine.
I should have quite a kick.
Oh, yes, one of our gentlemen found enough time to say, how delicious. You know why we don't need to worry?
We know exactly what's to be done. Yes.
It's frightful, Miss Darlings.
Oh, no, not a bit. No. Please, Moira, just don't worry.
Really, you're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
Oh, something.
Oh, it's you.
Don't be cross, darling. Father could say I was excited, so I told him all about us, and well, that made it hard for me to get away. But listen, you won't be waiting up for me tonight.
Elaine, you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Elaine, you know I always call you up in a day or two.
But we're going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Oh, why not?
Something's come up.
Moira, you've lost your job?
No, I'm just not covering that play tonight.
Well, what's happened? Certainly you can tell me.
No, I'm afraid I can't.
But if we're going to be married,
Married?
have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
Oh. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. But listen, Elaine, you run along home and I'll call you up in a day or two.
I will not leave this house until I know what is going on.
Elaine! Seriously. Al? Al, city desk, Al. Hi, Al. Okay, yes, did you find somebody to cover the... No, Al, I can't. Or just hold on one moment, okay? It's important, but okay, you can wait a minute. Oh, damn it! Elaine, you run along home and I'll call you up in a day or two.
But darling, certainly you can tell me.
I really can't. I wish I could. Just, I'll call you up in a day or two. Come in. Aunt Abby?
Oh, hello.
Hello. I understand you have a room for men.
Yes.
Why don't we get acquainted?
Hello? City desk. City desk. Ow!
Is Brooklyn
What?
home?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong number.
Well, where do you live?
Well, I live in a hotel. Don't like it very much.
What about your family?
Your family Brooklyn people.
I've got
Don't go anywhere. See the desk? Moira again. Yeah. All right. So, I'll cover the play tonight. I'll see the first act and I'll pan the hell out of it. But listen, I need you to do me a favor. Get a hold of O'Brien, the head of our legal department. Yeah, have him meet me at the theater in 5 minutes. All right, don't let me down. All right, darlings. I can't get out of this tonight. So, I need you to promise me one thing.
Well, we would have to know what it is first.
Darlings, please, I don't want anything to happen to you. Surely you can promise me one thing.
What?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. And don't let anybody in this house, and leave Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
We were going to bury him after dinner.
Well, certainly I can wait till I get back.
Yes, and then you could join us for the services.
Oh, yes, yes!
You'd love the service. Did you remember how beautifully Moira used to sing in the choir?
All right. Do you have any paper? I can save time if I write my
I'll see what
resignation
I
letter
can
to
do.
you. Yes, that'll be fine. Here. I'll be back as soon as I can. Remember? It's a promise.
Yes.
Knew this much.
Moira wasn't quite herself today.
No. And I know why.
Why?
Well, she's just gotten engaged. That's bound to make a girl nervous.
Well, naturally. Well, this honeymoon ought to be a good vacation for her. She hasn't really gotten much rest since the summer.
No. Well, at least she didn't go kiting off to China or Spain.
I never could understand why she wanted to go to those places.
Well, I think for Moira, the theater has always seemed like pretty small potatoes. She needs something big to criticize, like the human race.
Well, I'm so looking forward to the services. You know, it is your turn,
But you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, so it's only fair that you can do it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sister. I think I'll wear my black momsey and mother's old brooch.
Oh, lovely. Do you hear something?
Sound like a car.
Let me check.
Still men. I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
Well, yes. We'll just have to pretend we're not home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'll be happy to escape back into it.
Yeah, Tanya, fine, tied up.
Family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look, drinks.
As if we were expected. A good omen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Aunt Abby. Aunt Martha. It's John.
You're not our nephew, Jonathan.
You're nothing like Jonathan, so don't pretend to be.
But I am Jonathan. And this is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
No, not Albert Einstein. This is Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You're not our nephew Jonathan.
I see you're still wearing that lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought in England. And you, Aunt Martha, still the high collar hide with grandmother's ass.
His voice is like Jonathan.
Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. Dr. Einstein was responsible for that. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before. You remember when we took that little Schultz boy to the movies? It was that face.
Easy, Johnny. Don't worry, ladies. The last 5 years, I've
England, South Africa, Australia. The last 5 years, Chicago. The doctor and I were in business there together.
We were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
It was awfully warm for us. Oh, yeah, it got hot for us too.
Well, you mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Yes, we'll leave you and rest your burdens. Hell, Johnny, where do we go from here? We got to think fast. The police have got pictures of that face. I got to operate on you right away. We gotta find a place for that. Mr. Spinozzo, too.
Forget about that rat.
But Johnny, we've got a hot stiff on our hands.
Forget Mr. Spinozzo.
You can't leave the dead body in the rumble seat. You shouldn't have killed him, Johnny.
He called me Boris Karloff, doctor. That's your work. You did that.
Johnny, we find a place. I fix you up quick.
Tonight.
That's not so nice. I'm hungry. I'm weak.
Well, Jonathan, it was lovely to see you again. Very nice of you to remember us and drop by. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy with you in it, so we've just come to say goodbye.
Aunt Hattie, I can't say that your feeling toward me was a surprise after all. I've spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have caused you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. You see, I promised him that no matter how rushed we were in coming through Brooklyn, I would bring him down here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Well, I'm sorry, there wouldn't be enough.
Oh, it's a pretty good sized pot roast.
Pot roast.
Yes, I think you and the doctor would enjoy it.
Well,
Bless you, Aunt
hurry.
Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
We'll hurry everything along. If you want to get freshened up on grandfather's laboratory, it's just left it. You can use his washroom.
Is that still there?
Yes, just as he left it.
Well, we've got a meal anyway.
Grandpapa's laboratory. And just as he left it, a perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
The laboratory. The large room, the attic, 10 beds, Doctor. Why would you finish with me? We could make a fortune. And Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
Why work yourself up, Johnny? Anyway, for Brooklyn, I think we're a year.
Doctor, you don't know this town. Besides, everyone in Brooklyn needs an excuse.
But so many of the old places are locked up.
Only a small percentage of the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner.
Doctor, leave it to me. I'll handle it. This house will be our headquarters for years.
That would be beautiful, Johnny. This nice quiet house. Those aunts of yours, what sweet ladies. I love them already. I get the bags.
We must wait to be invited.
But you just said that.
We'll be invited, Doctor.
And I just say no?
Doctor, to helpless old women.
So it comes true, a beautiful dream. Yet I hope you're not dreaming. It's so peaceful.
That's what makes it so perfect for us.